Coming up on CMI. From Pop Warner to high school to the NC2A, Reggie Bush's breathtaking moves have amazed fans, coaches, teammates, and even himself.
When you look at game video of yourself in college, do you ever say, wow, I can't believe I just did that?
Sometimes I do.
Now the electrifying running back sits down with Chris Myers to discuss why he's making a mad dash to the NFL, reveals what brought him to tears at the Heisman Trophy ceremony, explains why on earth he made that pitch against Texas, and admits that he has no plans to finish behind Vince Young ever again.
I have all the respect for him, and I wish him well with whatever team he goes to.
Just as long as you're drafted ahead of him.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Find out if this Trojan horse can finish his run to #1 in the NFL draft. Right now on CMI, the Chris Myers interview.
Thanks for being with us. It's a pleasure to welcome a Heisman Trophy winner, Reggie Bush, getting ready for the NFL draft. Thanks for spending a moment with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on all your success. Now, the big decision to leave after your junior year and go pro. Are you relieved? Are you excited?
I'm relieved to a certain extent, just because it's all over now, and I get to single my focus down on preparing for the NFL draft. But at the same time, I'm kind of sad, that is gone, and my college career has come to an end, and I got to focus on bigger and better things now.
What was the most important factor in your decision to go pro?
For me, I would say, I talked to my family and the people closest to me, and we just all decided together, this would be the right time, for me to leave, and I felt like I accomplished a lot of the things I wanted to, win a national championship and a Heisman Trophy. So, we put everything in perspective, and we just felt like it was the right time.
What did Pete Carroll tell you about this decision? Because publicly, and we know he always likes his guys to stay, but he said, hey, if you're ready, and emotionally, I think was the key word he used.
Well, Coach Carroll was very supportive of my decision. He told me he'd be behind me 100%. And, that was really helpful for me, to hear that from him, because it was hard enough for me to say goodbye. So, just to have him to tell me that, was so much support for me. So,
did you watch what Matt Leinart did, winning a Heisman, coming back, could have gone out early? How did that figure into your decision, or did you talk to him much about it?
Well, I did talk to Matt, and and just actually being a part of getting a chance to give him some advice last year.
Oh, really? He asked you?
Yeah. Well, I got a chance to talk to him.
Of course, you wanted him to stay when you were there.
Obviously I wanted him to stay. But I talked to him, and he just had nothing but great advice to give me. He told me, just follow your heart and make your decision based off of what you feel and not what everyone else feels you should do.
Would you say this is the toughest decision you've had to make in your life?
I would say that. It was pretty tough, and I was more nervous than the Heisman Trophy ceremony when I was giving that speech, when I was declaring to go to the draft. So.
At age 20, you play fearless, but is there something to be afraid of going into the NFL or leaving college?
Well, obviously, the first thing you think of, am I big enough? Am I strong enough? Am I fast enough? And you just you got to prepare yourself to your comfort level, and at the same time, not try to worry about everything as far as the physical aspects of it. Just prepare yourself for the draft, and take it from there.
Well, and you seem, let's go back to the mental part, because you seem, we use the word mature, but obviously you're still a young guy. Yeah. And you seem that way even in college anyway. So you're comfortable with that, the mental part of either what challenge lies ahead, or?
Yeah, I am. Well, it's a new challenge for me, and that's one of the reasons why I left, and I felt like this is a new challenge for me, a level where I can make my mark, with obviously the pros. So, I'm excited at the opportunity.
And when you hear that you're not big enough, we did a little check. You're 6 feet, about 200. I think you want to play at 210, right?
Yeah.
At the professional level. But a guy like Warwick Dunn, 5'9", 180. Tiki Barber's 5'10", 200. Clinton Portis, 5'11", 205. So these are all durable, every down backs. Yeah. When you hear somebody question whether Reggie Bush can be an every down back in the NFL, what do you say?
Well, I say to that, they got to pick on something. And, in that, also I know that, playing at USC and me and Lindell sharing time in the backfield, and him being a bigger back of the two, he carried the heavy load in a sense, a little bit more than I did. So possibly, people were saying that because of the way I was used at USC, but at the same time, I don't think I have really got that chance to show that I can be every down back.
But you think you can do it? There's no doubt in your mind. Because I think you average 13 carries, right? But so if you have to carry 20 times in the NFL,
definitely.
you're cut. So you'll add some weight, bulk up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
When you've been compared to anybody from a Gale Sayers to a Barry Sanders, a Marshall Faulk, maybe, I don't know, Marcus Allen, you've probably heard them all. Which one is the closest that you feel if we had to align you with a professional back?
I would say possibly Marshall Faulk, just in the way that the St. Louis Rams used him, and with Coach Chow last year, he actually went to the Rams and asked him how they used Marshall Faulk, and came back and tried to use me in similar ways.
So along those lines, when you look at game video of yourself in college, do you ever say, wow, I can't believe I just did that?
Sometimes I do. I surprise myself sometimes.
What is there a favorite run, a favorite moment that stands out more than any other?
Honestly, a favorite moment that I have is not actually me, is when I push Matt into the end zone from Notre Dame game.
The Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish fans are still wondering
Man.
about that. We'll have to talk about that in the performance in the Rose Bowl. Now, LaDainian Tomlinson of the Chargers, did you kind of go through one of his extreme workout
Yeah,
routines?
I did.
What happened there?
It was an extreme workout, like you said, and it happened over summertime. And me and him have been friends for a while now. And I got a chance to work at him finally, and it was extreme, like you said, man. It was tough work, and it gave me the chance to see what it takes to be the best player, to see what it takes to be the best running back, at the next level. And I was grateful for the opportunity.
And it's important for you, right? No matter where you go in the NFL, to be at the highest level.
Yeah, and it gave me a newfound respect, of what it means to be in shape.
Were you like heaving after a while, or?
I threw up maybe once.
And we all would, believe me, it's an extreme workout because LT, we've talked to you before about that. We'll continue with Reggie Bush on CMI. We'll talk about his high school days, his roots, also how important it is for him to be drafted #1. We'll be back with Reggie in a moment.
Also coming up.
What are you going to do, by the way, with all that money?
Well, first, I'm going to take care of my family. That's the first thing I've always dreamed of doing.
Plus,
the Rose Bowl, the BCS championship. How about the pitchback play?
That's the type of player I am. I play fearless, and I'm willing to score at all costs.
That's next on CMI, the Chris Myers Interview. You're watching CMI, the Chris Myers Interview.
Reggie Bush out to the 30. Bush turns on the Jets. Reggie Bush, there he goes. The fastest man in San Diego. Nobody's going to catch him.
And we're glad to have you with us with Reggie Bush, Heisman Trophy winner and former USC Trojan who played his high school ball in San Diego. And he had some incredible runs and I guess games during your high school days. Did you envision yourself as a professional player at that time?
I think I did. Just as a young man, as a kid, you dream of playing in the NFL, and I've always dreamed of it, and I've always envisioned myself playing in the NFL.
Who did you emulate the most or try to copy?
Nobody really. I was just a big fan. I've always been a big fan of sports, and especially football. So me, growing up, I grew up around San Diego State area, and at the time, Marshall Faulk was playing there, and I got a chance to watch him a lot. So he was somebody I really watched a lot.
And at Helix, the high school, right? Alex Smith, the #1 pick in the draft the previous year, the 49ers, was your teammate.
Yeah, he's my teammate now. A lot of good memories, man. We didn't lose too many games, me and Alex and some other great players from that team, and it was a great time.
Did you talk to him about your decision or maybe what to expect in the draft?
Well, not too much. Me and Alex are just good friends, and we didn't really get too much into that, but he did have, good advice to give me for the short time we spoke about it. And he just said, just follow your heart.
How important is it for you to be the #1 pick in the draft?
Well, I think it's pretty important. It's about competing, and
already,
there. Already. You're competing right off the back, and especially coming from USC. That's one of the first principles. Coach Carroll, teaches to us, and you compete in all aspects. So, for me, it's pretty important. I'm going to compete my butt off.
Would you not have come out, Reggie, if you thought you didn't have a good shot to be the top choice?
I think so. That might have swayed my decision to maybe stay or go. So, like I said, for me, I think it is important for me to be the top pick.
Well, in Houston, and I've even talked with the owner there, Robert McNair, who's a terrific guy and has a lot of money. And I think as a first pick, you'd be guaranteed at least $26 million just for signing along.
That sounds good.
Yeah. So another reason that'll help a decision. What are you going to do, by the way, with all that money once you?
Well, first, I'm going to take care of my family. That's the first thing I've always dreamed of doing, take care of my family and just invest in putting away and then maybe take care of myself a little bit.
Celebrate. Yeah. What's the one thing you'd like to buy? Now, you told me those earrings aren't real yet.
Not yet. But obviously, I'm going to get some real ones.
Some real ones.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your family because your mom works for the San Diego County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff's Department, and there was a divorce when you were 2 or 3 years old, and so you had a stepfather that pretty much has raised you most of your life. Your biological father, how much in touch have you been with him over the years?
Well, we stay in touch, pretty much, not a lot, but he is, where I get all my talents from,
Right.
And,
Reggie Sr.
Yeah, Reggie Sr.
He played himself in high school.
Yeah, he was a great football player, great track athlete, played basketball, all those sports, and he's where I get all my talents from, and at the same time, like you said, I was raised, by my stepfather, and that's who I grew up with.
It's Lamar Griffin.
Yeah, Lamar.
And now, I remember the Heisman ceremony. That was kind of a moment where you teared up.
Yeah, just because, I really felt in my heart that, it really does take a man to, take on someone else's child. And I was, thankful because, not too many kids growing up today, are able to come from a two-parent household.
Yeah, and they must be proud, and obviously you'll reward them. Now, was there a time when you wanted to play, and I guess your mom didn't want you to play because of asthma when you were younger?
Well, she didn't want me to play because she thought I was going to get hurt, not because of asthma. And my dad talked to her and let me play, and look where I'm at today.
That's right, but I think you went out in that Pop Warner game, right? You had over 500 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I think it was my second game. My mom has the article. She showed everybody comes to the house. Had 8 touchdowns and 544 rushing yards.
And you did. You went through high school. I think you had a 1,700-yard season when you missed 4 games with a wrist injury, right?
Yeah.
And then you had like a 2,200-yard season.
Yeah.
And so what was the difference, and I guess because we're going to move this forward, running high school, then the success you had in college, and now what you think, how it'll be another notch in the pro game?
Well, for me, between high school and college, there wasn't much of a difference because I was fortunate enough to to play under some great coaches, play with some great players, on my great teammates, and the same principles apply to both teams. Competing and putting your teammates first, and although you have so much talent on one team, everybody was able to focus on one goal and put their egos aside, and it was a special time for me, in high school and in college, and like I said, I've just been really fortunate to come from some good programs.
Are you assuming, is it okay to assume that you're going to be a member of the Texans? Is that pretty much
Yeah, that's okay to assume that. I have no problem. I would love to play for the Texans, and and I hope that I'd be able to build those type of relationships with those guys as I have built with my high school and college teammates.
Now, how would you deal with having such success at USC? Right, losing was rare.
Yeah.
To a place where it may happen every other Sunday.
Obviously, it'll be hard. That first loss will be hard, it'll be tough on me. But I'm not looking. Even though I'll possibly go to a team with not such a good winning record, I'm still looking forward to winning a lot of games.
All right, we'll continue with Reggie Bush. We'll look back at that Notre Dame game and the BCS Championship Rose Bowl game when we continue here at CMI.
Also coming up,
Vince Young, are you happy that he's going pro?
Well, obviously, I'm not happy in any competition, but
plus,
I think maybe the most exciting from a fan's perspective might be returning punts and kicks, just because you don't have a set play, you just get to go out there and make people miss.
coming up next on the Chris Myers interview with Reggie Bush. Get a behind-the-scenes look at one of the most dramatic games in college football history. USC's thrilling win against Notre Dame.
What was it like in the huddle with Matt Leinart before that last play?
It was
Was it frantic? Was he asking you? Was he saying?
He wasn't frantic at all. He was actually really calm. And
How were you?
I was frantic.
Also on the way,
Would you be disappointed if you're not the first choice in the draft?
find out next on CMI, the Chris Myers Interview. You're watching CMI, the Chris Myers Interview.
Reggie Bush right up the middle, gets the outside, he's at the 30, it's another foot race, cuts it back to the 20, comes back to the near side of the field, he's going to go, it's going to be another USC touchdown and another thing of beauty.
And we're back with 20-year-old Reggie Bush on his way into the NFL. So you like roller coasters?
Yeah, I love roller coasters.
What is it you like about them?
Just the going in circles and the fast paces, and it just maybe kind of simulates how I play in a football
I was going to say that figures the excitement of it all,
Yeah.
because when you played out with all the, whether it's returning kicks, punts, or lining up as a receiver, do you have a favorite position to come out of? Do you like just pounding the ball? Do you like catching it and taking off?
I love doing it all, but I think I like to first be known as a running back and then everything else second. I think maybe the most exciting from a fan's perspective might be returning punts and kicks, just because you don't have a set play, you just get to go out there and make people miss.
And you do that. I want to read some of the things that were said about you. He releases adrenaline in every bloodstream the minute he touches the ball. In fact, Mike Williams, former USC receiver, said that Reggie's the ultimate weapon. And I love Washington State head coach Bill Doba. His line was, if you've got a linebacker covering him, you might as well start singing their fight song. So that's good. So you must so lining up against anybody in college. Who gave you the toughest time in college, trying to stay with you?
I would say my own teammates. Just playing with them day in and day out, and we have some really good players. In practice, and just the way we practice. It was tough. Just playing against those guys, and I feel like in the long run it made me better.
So the intensity that Pete Carroll, we've talked to him on this show about that if you're doing it during the week, then on game day it's relatively easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it important for you, and you said this at your news conference when you announced you were going pro, that you will get that degree at some point at USC?
Well, first because I'm the first in my family to attend a four-year university, so that's very important for me, and I think it's something that nobody can ever take away from me. Education takes you a long way, and I would say I like my education, and especially coming from USC, it's a pretty good.
What will you get the degree in?
Political science.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you'll probably be able to buy a political science building with the money that you. Now you have two sisters and a brother, right?
Yeah.
So some other family members. So where are they? So that you want to set an example? Is it important that?
Yeah, I think it's important to set an example for them, and for my future kids. I plan on having shown them I have a degree, and education is very important.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody will fault that decision based on the talent you have and the opportunities, and again, with what you've already accomplished. I want to go back to the Fresno State game. I feel, and tell me if you agree, that's where the Heisman, you sealed that with over 500 total yards.
Possibly.
Put on a show.
It was a great game, and just one of those nights I was just feeling it. My offensive line was doing a great job at opening up holes for me, and just getting an opportunity to really go out there and showcase my talent.
Now, were you tired? Were you drained after that, or could you have gone another quarter? Or?
Honestly, I told the coach after the game I feel like I could have played another game.
Really?
I wasn't tired at all.
Wow. Now, the Notre Dame game that you mentioned earlier, the last play of the game, and such drama there that kept USC undefeated, and one of the great college games during the course of the year. What was it like in the huddle with Matt Leinart before that last play?
Well, it was
Was it frantic? Was he asking you? Was he saying?
He wasn't frantic at all. He was really calm. And
How were you?
I was frantic.
Okay.
I was frantic. He was calm. So I'm glad he was a calm one. But he came up to me and asked me, should I go for it? What do you think I should do? And I said, man, just go for it. Just do it. And he went for it, and he got a little bit of push from me.
That's right. Now, was that an instinctive thing when you saw it?
Yeah, it was pure instincts, just because his initial surge, he got knocked back and kind of rolled over to the side I was at, and and my national instinct just push him in there, not even thinking that I could possibly get a penalty.
Right, that's against the which Notre Dame fans may still argue. And then the Rose Bowl, the BCS championship, the loss to Texas and Vince Young. One of the greatest games I think a lot of us have ever seen when you look at the teams and what was at stake. I'm sure you've been asked, we've had a little time in a sentence or two, what happened to USC?
Well, I definitely feel like we didn't play our best game. And both offensively and defensively, we feel like we didn't play our best game. And but even with all the mistakes that we made, we were still ahead. Like 12 points, I think it was 4 minutes to go. So I think it was just it just happened to be their day. They were the better team, and they won the game. And sometimes you have those days. You can't win them all.
How about the pitchback play? I know it was something you'd like to have back, but what were you thinking at the time? Is it something you'd done before that had been successful?
It's just me. It's the type of player I am. I play on pure instincts and fearless, really. And that's the type of player I am. I play fearless, and I'm willing to score at all costs. And I feel like if I would have made the pitch and scored, it probably would have been the greatest play in college football. But that's why we love this game so much, because it's everything. It's all the emotions, playing to it, and we're sad, we're happy, and it's part of the game.
Part of that roller coaster.
Yeah.
Vince Young, and what a performance! We talk about fourth down plays. There was the one when USC had it, and then when he ran it in. Are you happy that he's going pro?
Well, obviously, I'm not happy in any competition, but Vince Young is a great player, and I have all the respect for him, and I wish him well, whatever team he goes to.
Just as long as you're drafted ahead of him.
Exactly.
That's fair, that's fair enough. And it's been noticeable, and people who didn't follow you through college, the eye black, putting, I guess, the area code, right? It's
San Diego.
And SE, right? On.
Yeah, that's just, me representing my hometown. I'm very proud of where I come from, and it just so happens, we got 3 other Heisman Trophy winning running backs that come out of there. So I'm very proud of where I come from, and that's just my way of saying hello to everybody back home.
Not forgetting your roots, right, where you're from. And would you be disappointed if you're not the first choice in the draft, and if somebody else were, let's say, to trade up, and it looks like you
I wouldn't be disappointed as long as I know that I did everything possible, to prepare myself, for the teams, whatever team took me. I wouldn't be disappointed at all, but like I said, I'm competing for that #1 spot. So.
Leading up to the draft, what will be going through Reggie Bush's mind? What kind of plan are you on?
Just to prepare myself, to the max. Gain, obviously put on a little bit more pounds. Just work on getting faster, stronger, and just preparing myself to play at that next level. So I got a lot of great people around me to help me do that.
Yeah, great family. You get too much faster, we won't be able to sit you down for an interview. But I really appreciate your time. It's great watching you in college.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you in the professional game. All right. Reggie Bush with us on CMI. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Take care.
For more on this episode of CMI, log on to foxsports.com on MSN. That's where you'll find bonus footage and video from all of our previous guests. It's only at foxsports.com on MSN. Keyword CMI.